Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to help you get genuinely well-informed, fast, on some really fascinating sources. Today, we're digging into something quite special, an epic narrative outline. It's called the Celestial Odyssey, Journey Through Portals. What we've got is basically the blueprint for a whole saga. It's a list, scene by scene 104 of them, laying out this huge adventure. Think of it like having the early notes for a massive fantasy story. We get to see the bones of it.
Exactly. And our job today is to walk you through that journey. We're not just hitting plot points, though. We want to explore why things happen, what it means for the characters, the big picture themes in this Celestial Odyssey.
This outline is our map. It shows the challenges, sure, but also the growth, the layers underneath. It gets surprisingly deep. Oh yeah, and the characters. Right off the bat, we've got a talking mule, a singing butterfly, a mischievous monkey, even a hippo. It's quite the setup. Okay, let's unpack this incredible journey, starting at the beginning. Hashtag the deep dive journey. So everything kicks off, fittingly, at the Zoo of Wonders. Scene 1 introduces our main crew. There's Manny, the talking red mule, sounds like the practical one. Lily, the singing butterfly. Frank, the white monkey, labeled mischievous.
Always one of those.
And Sylvia, the majestic hippopotamus. They're in the Enchanted Gardens, this mysterious menagerie. It feels very whimsical.
It starts whimsical, yeah, but they're immediately thrown into challenges. Scene 2 has the Labyrinth of Wonders. This isn't just a fun maze. It's designed to test their courage right away, and crucially, how they work together. Teamwork is key from the get-go.
Right. And then the magic gets more complex. Scene 3, the Fountain of Dreams. This sounds fascinating. Drinking the water gives visions past, present, and future.
Yeah, think about that. Suddenly, destiny versus free will is on the table. Do these visions help them or, trap them?
That's a huge question to introduce so early.
It really is. And it escalates quickly.
Yeah.
Scene 4 is confronting the darkness right there in the gardens, their first big fight. And the outline stresses they win through unity. It's setting a clear theme. Together, they're strong. Individual heroics. Maybe not the focus here.
Okay, so they prove they can work together, they face some darkness, and then comes the real catalyst. Scene 5, they find an ancient scroll. It summons them on a quest for a lost artifact. This is the call to action.
Yeah, that's it. The inciting incident. Their world just got a whole lot bigger than the zoo. They're moving from reacting to acting.
So they accept the call. What happens next? Preparations.
Exactly. Scenes 6 and 7 show them seeking allies, griffins, centaurs, merfolk, quite a roster, and preparing for battle. Training, strategy. This isn't just wandering off. It's a serious undertaking. They know the stakes are high.
And their first stop outside the familiar gardens sounds spooky. Scene 8, eerie encounters in the haunted hollows.
Restless spirits. But it's not just ghosts for scares. Scene 9 is uncover secrets. They find artifacts, learn about where this darkness actually comes from. It's history, lore, tied into the haunting.
And it affects them personally, too.
Very much so. Scene 10 highlights each character confronting fears in those hollows. They come out stronger. It's like the challenge forces internal growth, which then, interestingly, leads to Scene 11, a glimmer of hope. They find a map.
Like a reward for facing their fears.
Could be interpreted that way, yeah. Then, in Scene 12, they get pulled into the high-level stuff, summoned to the council.
Wise guardians within the zoo.
Seems so. And these guardians don't hold back. Scene 13 is ancient wisdom and prophecies unveiled. They learn the zoo's history, prophecies, and crucially, their own vital role in everything.
Yep.
Talk about pressure.
Wow. Okay, so armed with allies, training, some scary experiences, and a heavy dose of prophecy.
You're ready. Scene 14, a call to action again, but this time it's literal. They set out. They leave the zoo.
Crossing the threshold. The real adventure begins.
Absolutely. No turning back now.
Okay, so they're out. The world opens up. Scene 15, journeying forth. Enchanted forests, mountains, plains. The classic fantasy trek.
But it's not just sightseeing. Scene 16 lists trials and tribulations. These challenges forge stronger bonds between them. And Scene 17, unexpected allies. They're meeting others out there, building connections beyond the zoo.
So the world expands, and so does their team, in a way.
Precisely. And a big part of this section seems to be about knowledge, ancient knowledge. Scene 19, they find lost history in ruins. Scene 20, they're deciphering the past from inscriptions.
Like archaeologists.
Sort of, but with higher stakes. They face Guardians of the Ruins in Scene 21, testing their worthiness. Only then, in Scene 22, can they start unleashing power from what they've learned and found. It's knowledge plus ability.
Okay, and the environments themselves are challenges. Scene 23, entrance to the Forest of Whispers, trees whispering secrets. That sounds unnerving.
Definitely. It leads straight into scene 24, Lost in the Shadows, where illusions mess with their heads. A test of perception.
So they have to see through the tricks.
Seems like it. Then they meet the Forest Guardians in scene 25, who test their determination and purity of heart. Deep stuff. If they pass, then they find the way in scene 26.
Okay, from a tricky forest to a cave. Scene 27, descending into darkness, the Cave of Echoes. Sounds like sensory deprivation.
Yeah, sounded like get swallowed. But they hear things, scene 28, whispers of the past, secrets and dangers of the cave itself.
Leading to another internal test.
Looks like it. Scene 29 is trial of reflection, facing inner fears and doubts again, but they manage to illuminate the shadows in scene 30. They overcome it.
They emerge from the dark cave into a world of wonder. Scene 31, the crystal caverns, must be stunning.
Visually, probably yes, but still dangerous. Scene 32, trapped by illusions, this time from the crystals reflecting desires and fears.
Ah, so it's another mind game. How do they break free?
Scene 33, breaking the spell, requires self-awareness, determination. Knowing yourself lets you see through the illusion, and doing that leads to unveiling truths in scene 34, learning more about the quest. It's like clarity comes from conquering inner deception.
Very clever narrative structure. Next up, a river journey. Scene 35, River of Whispers. Waters carrying secrets.
Scene 36, Echoes of Destiny, foretelling future trials. And scene 37, Navigating Rapids, a physical test of teamwork again.
Keeps them on their toes, mixing physical and mental challenges.
Exactly. And then comes a really profound moment. Scene 39, Mirror Lake, at the Isle of Reflection.
Mirror Lake, literally.
Seems that way. Scene 40 is Facing Truths, confronting reflections of their true selves, reckoning with past actions, future hopes.
Wow, that sounds intense.
It leads to scene 41, Inner Battles, fighting personal demons. And if they succeed, scene 42 is Embracing Growth, gaining wisdom and strength. This feels like a major turning point for them individually, a real crucible.
Absolutely, and after plumbing those depths, they aim high. Scene 43, Ascending Heights to the Summit of Destiny.
A tough climb, no doubt. Scene 44, Tests of Endurance. Scene 45, Confronting Trials, Courage, Resilience, Loyalty tested to the max.
Until finally, scene 46, they reach the summit, the dawn of fate. Sounds ominous.
Or pivotal. Standing at a crossroads, ready for the next major phase.
Okay, Summit of Destiny, first stop, scene 47, Guidance Sought from the Oracle, a classic fantasy trope.
Right, and she delivers in scene 48, Visions Revealed. But they're cryptic prophecies, naturally.
So the challenge isn't just getting the info, it's understanding it. Scene 49, Answers and Riddles.
Exactly. They have to wrestle with the meaning before leaving with purpose in scene 50. Guided, but maybe still confused.
And where does that guidance lead? Downwards, scene 51, Into Darkness, the Valley of Shadows.
Perpetual darkness, filled with haunted whispers of sorrow in scene 52. Sounds bleak.
Leading to confront nightmares in scene 53. Another mental endurance test.
It seems like it. But they find a way to embrace light in scene 54, overcoming that darkness, both external and maybe internal too.
After that shadow, they face a Guardian's Challenge in scene 55. Big fight.
Seems like more than just a fight. Scene 56 is a battle of wills, testing resolve against huge odds.
So what's the outcome?
Victory, but with consequences. Scene 57 highlights lessons learned about sacrifice, loyalty, what heroism really means. It's not just about winning.
Ah, so it comes at a cost. Scene 58, Victory and Loss. That adds weight.
Definitely. It suggests real stakes, real sacrifices being made.
Their path then takes them to a forgotten temple, scene 59, more ancient stuff.
Loaded with it, ancient relics, echoes of the past, scene 60, but also traps and tribulations, scene 61. They have to be smart and careful to eventually succeed in unveiling truths, scene 62, hidden there.
Phew. They need a break after all that. Do they get one?
Seems so. Scene 63, the blossoming fields, a moment of solace, and some nice character focus here. Scene 64 mentions Frank's connection to nature, maybe showing depth beyond mischief. And scene 65, Manny's harmony, witnessing the balance of life. Gives them pause, maybe, internal growth.
That's good. Then something called the Elemental Nexus, scene 66. What's that?
Where natural forces converge, a powerful, probably dangerous place. And it seems to be Sylvia's time to shine.
The hippo. How so?
Scene 67 notes Sylvia's balance, her understanding of the elements. Scene 68 has her facing elemental trials to master them. And interestingly, scene 69 shows Sylvia and Lily working together for restoring balance, strength and grace combined.
Nice pairing. What about the Crystal Spire in Scene 70, another shiny, dangerous place?
Looks like it. Towering structure, refracted light. Scene 71, ascending the spire, involves mirrors reflecting true selves again.
Leading to Lily and Manny's trial in Scene 72, so they face their reflections together.
That's what it implies. Deeper self-awareness and perhaps strengthening their specific bond.
Okay, the journey continues. Back into darkness. Scene 73, the Shattered Veil. Perpetual darkness again.
Seems like a recurring motif, haunted by echoes of sorrow in Scene 74.
And let me guess, more inner struggles.
You got it. Scene 75, confronting inner demons. Followed by Scene 76, a guardian's gauntlet testing strength, smarts, and unity.
All leading to Scene 77, triumph over adversity. They keep proving that teamwork is their superpower.
It really seems to be the core message running through these trials. Hashtag IV. Cosmic perspectives and lingering mysteries.
Okay, what's next? Water hazards. Scene 78, the Siren's Call. Uh-oh.
Classic danger. And Scene 79 specifically points out Sylvia and Frank's struggle against the hypnotic song, testing their individual desires, maybe.
But the group pulls through.
Yeah, Scene 80, breaking the enchantment through willpower and unity. Their bonds are strong enough to resist.
Good. After that, things get cosmic. Scene 81, the Astral Observatory.
Right. Peering into the cosmos, Scene 82 is Stargazer's delight, just marveling at it all. They find celestial maps, Scene 83, and gain an eternal perspective, Scene 84, on their quest. Suddenly their problems seem small or maybe part of something much bigger.
That's a huge shift in perspective. Does it change how they approach things?
Hard to say from just the outline, but it must have an impact. Next, they're exploring the Shattered Citadel in Scene 85, ruins again.
Hearing echoes of battle, Scene 86, uncovering clues, Scene 87, trying to piece together what happened.
And maybe trying to achieve restoring honor, Scene 88, to this fallen place, adding purpose to their exploration.
Okay, and then they meet the Oracle again, Scene 89, the Oracle's Gambit.
Yeah, this time it feels more strategic. She gives more cryptic prophecies, Scene 90. But Scene 91 is explicitly plotting strategy. They're using her intel now, actively planning instead of just reacting to visions.
That shows growth, and things escalate even further. Scene 92, seeking divine guidance from gods.
Seems like it. Leading to the realization in Scene 93 that they're part of a larger game of fate.
Wow, so their actions might have cosmic consequences.
That's the implication. Heavy stuff. And this game requires brains too. Scene 94, the Labyrinthine Library.
A giant library. Sounds amazing, but probably dangerous.
Oh yeah. Whispers of the Ancients, Scene 95. Dusty Tomes, Scene 96. Full of knowledge, but also Guardians of Knowledge, Scene 97. Testing their intellect.
So another test, this time purely mental.
Exactly. Wisdom is as important as strength. After that intensity, they find the Enchanted Grove in Scene 98. Another sanctuary.
A place for rejuvenation, yes. Listening to Whispers of the Trees, Scene 99. Reflecting on bonds of friendship, Scene 100.
Recharging their batteries, basically. Which sounds needed because the final scenes we have are pretty ominous.
Oh.
Scene 102, the Shadowed Sanctuary, Oppressive Darkness. Scene 103, they feel watched in the dark.
Creepy.
And Scene 104 has them navigating labyrinthine halls, deciphering carvings.
So the journey is definitely not over. It ends, or pauses, on a note of mystery and ongoing challenge.
Precisely. That's the latest point the outline gives us. Still deep in the quest. Hashtag outro.
Wow. Okay, what an incredible journey we've just charted through the Celestial Odyssey. I mean, from a magical zoo
Right.
to battling inner demons in mirror lakes, consulting oracles, gazing at stars from an observatory, and ending up in some shadowed sanctuary. The sheer scope.
It's massive. And what really stands out when you lay it all out like this are those recurring themes, aren't they? Like you said, the power of unity isn't just mentioned. It's tested again and again. It's how they survive.
Yeah, definitely.
And the constant self-discovery, facing fears, digging up ancient secrets, plus just sheer resilience. It's quite a recipe.
So for you, the listener, encountering a story structured like this, it's quite something.
It really is. The layering of challenges, the character growth tied so directly to the plot points, it's very well thought out.
Absolutely. And thinking about all those different trials, the physical ones, the mental labyrinths, the spooky encounters, the cosmic revelations, what strikes you as the most significant type of challenge they faced? And maybe drilling down, how do you think those unique abilities, they started with Manny talking, Lily singing, how might those seemingly simple things become really crucial for challenges we haven't even seen yet? Not just for puzzles, but maybe the deeper emotional hurdles.
That's a great question to ponder. how those specific, almost whimsical traits play into the really heavy, perhaps philosophical or emotional tests later on.
Something to think about. We hope this deep dive gave you a solid grasp of this amazing narrative framework.